Hey all, Hiva here. So if you watch my channel, then you know that there's nothing I love more than a good space adventure game. And while we are waiting for Starfield, I think that this EverQuest 2 is actually quite a good game. I mean, it's stunningly beautiful at times. It's hard to really explain, and the frame rate is also super smooth at about 60 frames per second. So it's a real technical showpiece, I think. It has all the options that I want from games like this. There's like fighting pirates, there's like trading from station to station, there's buying new ships, there's upgrading your weapons and your ships, there's like kitting out your ships with colors and new modules and stuff like that. It's very, very deep, and some people call it Diablo in space, and it's actually not that such a wrong perception of the game, really. Like I said, it's huge as well. There's lots of things to do, and it's a little bit like No Man's Sky, where you are traveling from system to system, picking up odd jobs on the way, and following the main storyline as you move along. Now, the game is huge. It's not procedurally generated like No Man's Sky, but it doesn't matter. It's amazing, and it's huge, and it would take a long time to finish. And a good thing about this game isn't that not everything happens in space all the time. I mean, that can get a little bit boring, but sometimes you actually get to visit planets and you get to fly like really low across them, and stuff like that. So it's nice with a little bit of variety to break up the monotony of just flying out in big black space, right? And planets are one thing. Of course, there's also humongous space stations that you'll get to visit as well, and every area on the maps are like crammed with secrets. If you find a downed spacecraft, there's a good chance there's a riddle or little riddle to solve in there, and then you'll get some nice loot once you've done that. And it just gets very, very addictive to play. It really does. And it's a shame that this thing is coming out with Starfield just a few weeks away, because I would have played this a lot. But I think that once Starfield arrives next week, I'll probably shelve this game here, which is kind of a shame because it's really good, actually. So you can pretty much do whatever you want in this game. If you just want to fly around and mine minerals, or look for old wrecks, and do whatever you pretty much come across, scan for unknown signals, like for example here, you can do that. And even when you're just following the main mission, there's always something that pops up along the way that you think, okay, I gotta check this out. And just wait until you look at the customization options here, because wow, this has been improved over the first EverQuest. Like you can pick up so many different weapons and shields and all sorts of upgrades for your ship. Everything can be upgraded as well, and your ship can be upgraded, and there's a whole lot of grind waiting you here. It really is quite a Diablo in space. It's very, very close. And of course, all the stuff you can pick up comes in different rarities as well. So you have the common, uncommon, rare, superior. I haven't seen anything called legendary yet, but I'm kind of assuming it's in there somewhere. I just haven't made it far enough to get to that yet. And of course, there's plenty of spacecrafts to choose from, which is really important in games like this, because you want to get a spacecraft that's yours. You want to modify it, you want to make it the color you want, you want to change the wings, you want to change the cockpit, whatever you want to do. Or you can even change the color of the engine exhaust and the LEDs on the ship, and of course the colors of the hull as it is. The hulls also come in different shapes and forms, so you can get like different wings you can put on the same hull. So there's a lot of customization here. It's probably not as deep as Starfield, where you can build your spacecraft from scratch. But this is very, very good. And like I said, if Starfield wasn't coming in about a week, this would have been one of my favorite games at the moment, because it is really good. And I have started playing it, and I've spent quite a few hours playing it. I'm just afraid to get too deep into it, because I know I'm probably going to throw it away once Starfield releases. And that's a bit of a shame. So I don't want to waste too much time on this game here. But let's see, maybe Starfield isn't as comprehensive than we all think it is, but yeah, it probably is. But if it isn't, then we have EverQuest here to fall back on, because it is an excellent game. And like I said, the technical prowess on display here is quite phenomenal, really. The graphics are really, really good, like super smooth and very colorful, lots of stuff going on, and the combat never gets really boring. Like that's a problem with most space games, because all you do is just turn around and try to shoot the little red thing on your HUD, and that gets a little bit boring. It's not that bad in this game here, because one, it's quite easy to hit the enemies, and two, combat doesn't play such a big role. Of course you can spend your whole time just shooting outlaws if you want to do that, but I'm more into the trading aspect, and although it's not as comprehensive as in other games in the genre, and I'm assuming it's not as good as in Starfield either, but you can buy stuff at one space station, fly far away and then sell it for a better price, and it's a totally legitimate way to play the game, and you can do it, but it's still not as deep as I would like it to be, unfortunately. Now, if you're a PlayStation 5 owner and you don't want to invest in an Xbox to play, a game like this, then EverQuest 2 is an absolute must-buy. Because if you don't have access to Starfield, this is probably the closest you're gonna get, and it's a really good attempt at refining this genre here, because it has everything I want. The training element is not as deep as I wanted, but it's still there. You can do it and you can get away with it, and you can just keep expanding your cargo hold and just do trading, and that's all you do. Or like I said, you can go exploration, you can scan for mineral deposits, all that stuff, or you can just go and fight other ships, or you can just play the main storyline. There's heaps of options, and it is a really extensive game. It really is, and it's such an improvement over the first EverQuest. That was pretty limited. All you did was just fly out, see how long you can survive, and then you just fly again once you were dead. Really, there was no real progression, and that was like something I really missed. But this game, wow, they have really fixed up everything that I thought was a little bit ho-hum with the first game, and it's not a Starfield. Let's not kid ourselves. You can never leave your spacecraft. You can never walk around on planets or anything like that. But as a pure space game, space trading, space combat, space exploration, this is great. This is absolutely great, and it doesn't hurt that the graphics are phenomenal as well. And it also incorporates puzzles and not just pure space flight. It's actually like a little bit diverse as well. So a really solid buy, if you ask me. It's I believe it's 70 Australian dollars, so that's like probably around 50 US, so it's not even expensive. So I would say, go ahead, buy this game if you're even the slightest into space games. So hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you out there.
Hi.